We are going on a little nostalgia trip today. You see, this Abakan is the first barter gun I worked towards when I picked the game, and it stayed in this unfinished state all this time. It's time to change it. Obviously, this barter leads to A-545. It used to be one of two available AR options together with FN2k when global servers were still young. Very popular for a long time, but now we got plenty of options to choose from, so the question is, does it still hold up against its newer opponents? I will talk about statistics in a bit when we start upgrading it, and then we are going to test it, but first let's take a look at my old Abakan. As you can see, I used some crappy attachments that I got from Seasonal Crate, especially this old handle. I think it could be from the first winter event we had when Battle Pass only had around 800 levels. But then I got FAMAS and never finished this gun. Now that I look at the paint on this gun, I realize it's actually rust, and it looks so awfully bad. I guess I used it because it resembled a camouflage pattern and I didn't have a normal paint back then. A-545 is very similar to FAMAS when it comes to time to kill. Sometimes it wins by a small margin, and in some scenarios FAMAS is slightly better, but the difference is insignificant. You could say the same thing about KS1, by the way. Something important to keep in mind is the difference in fire rate. 1100 RPM for FAMAS, 900 on A-545, and 750 on KS1. It means that not only is KS1 winning in terms of ammo economy, it might also suffer less from the server deathing that tends to show with fast shooting guns. On the other hand, the faster the fire rate, the less punishing gun is when it comes to missing your shots. FN2k was always a better option for long range fights, and as a bonus I think Kurz is a perfect middle ground between those two, but A-545 still wins at close range. Gun is at plus 15. To give it a proper treatment we are going to use my best attachments. I don't feel like using the anti-stasis silencer, so let's craft a 545 compensator. Oh, and for our nostalgia trip we are going to visit an old bar because it was already reworked and now it's more spacious and organized. I just hate how all of the quest NPCs were dumped into this sad and ugly place separated from the rest of the bar. Not cool devs. I played with A-545 in arms race mode and recoil is pretty comfortable, but not as easy as FN2k, plus I want to have a fast draw and aim speed since it's a close range gun. We are also going to need a 60 rounder mag for it. I think it's hands down the best option. There is also a 75 round jam mag, but the gun overheats after 61 shots. And let's not forget about extra penalties. I don't think it's worth using. By the way, you might already have noticed, but I'm using a new microphone and my audio quality should have increased significantly, so I think it's a good reason to subscribe to my channel. If my investment doesn't deserve a sub, then I don't know what does. Let's quickly test the gun in session mode and then we are going to jump into open mode. Yeah, so that's what we have to be careful about. Bunker absolutely dominates everything up to 4 meters. Literally the best CQB gun currently in the game. Obviously we have way more range, but in the past these super close distance fights would be mostly favorable to us. Okay, I think I like it. It's quite decent. For open world it would be best to pair it with a long range option like VSS Vintores, or even better would be QBU because of the ammo compatibility. I'm going to save QBU for a future video, and this time I'm just going to be stubborn and I will try to make A-545 work alone without any other guns. I know it's stupid, but it will force me to play around its weaknesses. And it will better show if it's still a good option as a first gun for new players who might not have access to sniper rifles. When I was running near my HQ in mines, I saw the sniper NPC shooting at something and decided to play cautious. I fumbled a bit and ran out of ammo, but his friend just hid it instead of rushing me. I waited for him a bit, but he ran away. In PvE this gun is okay-ish. Ammo economy is pretty bad, but it shouldn't be a deciding factor. On the other hand, if you get jumped, you can defend yourself just like this. Recently I realized I'm running out of quantum batteries. I should have a bit over 500 right now, so I needed to farm some outposts so that I can afford new guns. This one in particular was reworked not a long time ago, and now it looks completely different. It seems there's a lot of entrances now and a good view on approaching enemies, creating more room for long-range engagements. And as I mentioned before, A-545 is terrible in that kind of scenarios. I can farm a little bit of points, but if I brought a sniper rifle, I would get a lot of free kills there. This guy clearly wanted me to stay with him and help defending the corridor, so I had no choice but to join him. I panicked here a bit and shot him in the face, but he seems to be fine. With this sight from attack on perimeter, I zoomed in a bit, but obviously this gun can't really make a good use of that functionality. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but switching between magnification levels feels a bit wonky, and it delayed in this game. Sometimes it even makes me doubt if the game registered my input correctly. I wish it was more responsive, like let's say in Apex Legends. The sites that have different levels of modification are amazing there, they are very responsive, and here it feels like a slog. It seems you can't enter from this side anymore. Oh, they added a lever to block the entrance. Interesting build. What a rat. See, here is one of the problems why A-545 might not be as popular in current meta. Pretty much everyone is adding some bullet rest to their builds, making low pen guns that run on 545 and 556 less efficient. So I saw this guy and followed him a bit, because he could just run behind the cover and heal up. Sometimes you will see people that are too far for your gun, and it's important to be patient and either swap to your long range rifle, or just take your time and close the distance. I tried farming gammas and artifacts in Black the Tour, and I noticed that there's an insane number of people playing in duos and sometimes even in full squads. Honestly, it makes it pretty difficult for a solo player like me. I don't remember it being this common a while ago.
Notice the enemy. What's shaking,
Thanks,
Bacon?
dude.
Look, enemy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad at range. This ambush would work with a different gun. Usually when season ends I tend to buy Gamba boxes as I had a pretty good history of getting some good stuff for sale. This time, however, the contents of the special case are not very impressive and I think I'll invest in spare parts and tools so that I can upgrade more gear in the future. I don't really see any use for regular armor, but these parts can be such a pain to get, so let's just craft this copy for our collection. It's really painful to sell these blueprints. Wish we could trade them for something else after we get the first gun assembled. $900 parts and 500 tools is quite a lot, so I think I can afford upgrading Saturn since recently I was spending a lot of time in Black Detour and Labyrinth. Let's get some armor components too. Only 500 parts and 350 tools left. I thought after spending all of the season currency on them it would last me a bit longer. But anyway, I think it was worth it. 25 extra bullet res on a very useful suit. That's like one more bullet that we can survive. I think as a solo player I prefer lab after missions. There seems to be less squads roaming around here. I took this backpack. If you think I misclicked, you are dead wrong, because I would never misclick. I believe 1 in 20 people would actually pay me 100 rubles to get their backpacks back, so it's absolutely worth it to take them with you. Easy profit. My radar was showing a couple of people, so I was careful around the extract and I tried to slowly check the corners. But someone ran from behind me and I couldn't make my big money. Unlucky. This guy's gear is insane. Little boy, 140 bullet res and 9% vitality. huge. Okay, so again, what do I think about A-545? Is it still good? Yes, it's still usable as a close-range gun, very comfortable recoil. If you pair it with a QBU or VTRS to cover long distances, it will be a solid setup. But the current meta includes a lot of extra bullet resistance in artifact builds, which is bad for 5.56 and 5.45 calibers. Something with more penetration is just going to perform better. However, you can definitely make this gun work. It's not bad. I used it to clear operations in this video, so if you're interested in that, you can go and check it out. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Bye.